Do you want to build your own AI chatbot from scratch for work, business, or just because everybody's doing it? Are you tired of the YouTube videos that tell you how to code but don't tell you how technically AI chatbots work? I'm going to teach you how to technically design a chatbot and then code this in Python using the OpenAI APIs. I'm Nishant, an engineering manager at Amazon. I've been in the tech industry for 20 years, working for Amazon, Uber, eBay. I've also built my own chatbot. So I'm the best person to teach you how to build a chatbot. All you need is basic knowledge of Python. Not that Python! And secret key for OpenAI APIs. A typical chatbot has four components: user, chatbot, OpenAI APIs, and the model. The user sends a message to the chatbot sends a message to the OpenAI API, AI API sends this message to the model, the model returns the response, OpenAI API returns a response, chatbot returns the same response back to the user. Although this mechanism works for a single question and answer session, it does not allow us to actually have a conversation with the chatbot. This happens because in this mechanism, we are not passing any memory to the ChatGPT model. So it considers every message as a new message and it is unable to tie the messages together. We're going to make some quick modifications to our original design. The original design is kept intact and the new design has a new thing called a message history, and we have modified the design so when the user sends the message, it goes to chatbot. Earlier it was sending the message directly to the OpenAI API. It is now going to save this message in the message history, and after that it will call the OpenAI API with this whole message history object. When the response comes back to the chatbot will again save the response to the message history, and then the response will be returned to the user. As the process continues, the message and the responses will get accumulated. When the user asks a follow-up question, message 2 will be saved here. This allows ChatGPT to connect all the dots and have a natural conversation with you. Now let's get started with the coding. First thing we'll do is install OpenAI, pip install OpenAI. And now let's go to our code. After installing OpenAI, we will import it into our code and we will also use the API secret key. Let's first use a very basic implementation where we are going to call this Chat Completions API. Chat Completions API takes two inputs. One is the model. We're going to use the GPT 3.5 turbo model. It takes in the list of messages. If you remember, this is the message history that we had talked about when we were designing the chatbot. So in this case, we are only going to pass one single message. Then we are going to print the message response. We'll try to run this program. This is the response. It has an ID, an object, creation date, the model name that we use. Choices is the data structure that we will be using. It contains the actual message that we are looking for. Content is the response returned by ChatGPT. Let's try to extract the message. We will first extract the choices. Since choices is an array, we are going to get the 0th element. Finally, we are going to get the content. We will print the content. Let's run this. So there you go. The content in multiple options. This is printing the list of 20 dog names that was written by ChatGPT. Now that we have tried a simple example, let's try to get an input from the user. For that, we are going to use the input method and we're going to pass the message to send variable into this object. Then we're going to format the message and print the message. We'll format the response and print the response. Then we are going to run it. There you go. ChatGPT responded with the 20 names. So now let's change the program so we can get continuous input from the user. For that, we're going to use while initializes message to send, while message to send. We'll just run this. Now we got the first response. Let's try to follow up with that response. As you can see, the response that it gave me, it does not have any connection to the question that I asked. This is an example. It is unable to connect the dots. So now let's fix it. To fix this, we are going to implement these two steps, save the message and the responses in this message history object. For that, we are going to declare a message history array. And now we will define two variables, user message object, which has a role user, and the content, which is the message to send. Then we're going to append it to the message history. And the other thing we will do is to declare this chatbot response object with a role of assistant, and the content is the content that was received from the chatbot. We are then going to save the chatbot response in the message history. And finally, we're going to pass the message history to the messages parameter and run the program. We're going to use the same query. This time it gives me 10 names. Let's do a follow-up question now. Now it gives me 10 more names. They are all names of the dogs. Let's do another follow-up just to make sure this works. So now it's actually suggesting names of female dogs versus names of persons. So it's finally able to connect the dots together. Congrats! You built your first AI chatbot using the OpenAI API in Python. That's a big milestone. So congratulations to all of you. You now know how to design a chatbot and code it in the right way. By the way, there's a small bug in the code and I would challenge you to find the bug and then post it in the comments below. I'll also provide a link to the code in the comments. And while we created a fully functional AI chatbot in just 19 lines, wouldn't it be nice if we can wrap a UI around it? Huh? And that's exactly what we'll do in the next video by using the Gradio library. So hope you like this video. If you liked it, like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. So until next time, goodbye.